revamp. The 4-year project transformed the Bhunga building, which houses the museum, into a multi-facetted audiovisual experience, paying homage to South Africa's father, Mthatha Nelson Mandela. The new museum will be officially reopened today on the birthday of this icon. We cross live to our reporter in that area, Iviwe Poti. Iviwe, molo sisindathemba yonke into ilungile.
Good morning, Balesa, and definitely welcome to the Nelson Mandela Museum, which is at the Bhunga building. If I can just take you back a bit, if you remember in the year 2000, the legendary icon himself, our former statesman, Mthatha Nelson Mandela, was part of the launching of these museums here in the Eastern Cape, which are based in Vezo, Qunu, and where we are here at the Bhunga building, which was once the Transkei Government Council Chambers. So, you know, the building itself has a lot of history, as well as now where we are inside in the museum, a lot of history about Mthatha Nelson Mandela, but about the vision behind the relaunching and reopening of the museum, and, you know, just altering it a bit so that it's an internationally renowned museum. We're going to speak to the deputy chair, Mr. Chachana, who's going to tell us a bit more about what was the vision in terms of, you know, transcending and revamping this building so that it incorporates Mthatha Nelson Mandela's dream.
From the beginning, at the time when we launched the museum in 2000, up to the time that Madiba left us, the programming ethos has always been about a living legacy. Because Madiba was alive at the time, and it was always about reflection that brought democracy to the country. Post his time, we had to really look as council and say, we need to change the programming ethos to reflect his future vision, the dreams he had, South Africa and the world of Mandela's dream. So we moved from living legacy to living the values. Now that meant that we have to relaunch the exhibition, relaunch the museum with a very, very clear focus about what South Africa and the world that Madiba aspired for post his time. This is beyond him leading us to freedom, but really starting to say, what kind of South Africa did he struggle for? What kind of South Africa did he have in his mind in terms of his own aspiration? That is reflected a lot in the work that he did. He continued to do post his time as a president, and that's what we are launching today, focusing on living the values that Madiba represent, the aspirations, the dreams he had for South Africa and the world.
We've spoke to quite a few people, you know, prior today, just to understand, you know, what is it that they expect to see. If you just tell the general, and especially those that are watching us this morning, what can they, you know, expect to see within the museum? I mean, we see a lot of technology, but walking out, what can they take home with them?
The big part of what people will see when they come here, firstly, you will still see the life story, the struggle of South Africa as embedded in the life story of Nelson Mandela. But most importantly, you will see future visions, snippets of some of his thinking around issues around ending poverty, ending hunger, dealing with issue of disease. But actually some of his work as a president as well as post-president is exhibited here. The big focus on the exhibition, which you can extract, is around living the values. What Mandela represent, what kind of South Africa in the world that did he wish for? If you look at it today, we're launching this museum at the time where even the very tenets of our own democracy, our own reconciliation is being challenged with some of the challenges we have seen coming out in 2016. And this is a time where we need to call on all South Africans to really, as they think about Nelson Mandela today, to really start to focus on building national identity, nation building, reconciliation. The world today has challenges around peace in the world. This is the kind of project that Mandela would have wanted to deal with. We are actually saying through this exhibition, the world community has to come together and really focus on building peace in the world. In South Africa, all of us needs to act consistently in our own individual roles as leaders, as members of society, to build a South Africa of Mandela's dreams, free of poverty, inequality, and deprivation. And that's what you'll see today as you navigate the exhibitions in this museum.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chachan. Well, there it is. We've spoken to Mr. Chachana, who says, you know, the museum itself will leave you walking out of the museum wanting to actually instill the values that Mthatha Mandela had for us. But from us right now here in Mthatha, we're going to take a break. When we come back a bit later, we'll have a bit more. But let's go to an ad break.